Evening, the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for Wednesday, October 13th, 2021 is called to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Secretary, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Ellison is present. Commissioner Clymer is present. Commissioner Maloney is present. Vice Chairman Barnes is on the phone. Chairman Bray is present. Commissioner Kish is absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to excuse Commissioner Kish from this evening's meeting.
So moved. Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Ellison, seconded by Commissioner Clymer to excuse Commissioner Kish from this evening's meeting. Is there any discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. Agenda item number 1, these are the minutes, and we have 2 sets of minutes tonight, and we'll do separate motions. So let's start with the September 9th minutes. Those are the minutes from the joint work session with council. So those are online, and I will take a motion to approve those minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve September 9th, 2021 minutes.
Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Maloney, seconded by Commissioner Ellison to approve the minutes from September 9th, 2021. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. On to September 15th, 2021 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes of September 15th, 2021.
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Maloney, seconded by Commissioner Ellison to approve the minutes from September 15th, 2021. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Now is the time for citizens who would like to address the Planning and Zoning Commission on any non-agenda items. Any non-agenda items? Are there any speaker cards? Anyone from the audience? All right. Disclosure of ex parte communication. This is the opportunity for commission members to disclose any ex parte communications regarding agenda items on tonight's agenda. Any disclosures? Commissioner Barnes?
No disclosures.
Thank you. Moving into agenda item number 2, this is the public hearing part with the rezone for Hancock at Canyon Trails. I will open the public hearing and Alex will present. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, Commissioners. My presentation for you tonight is regarding the Hancock communities at Canyon Trails North. This is a PAD overlay request and a rezone. Subject property is just about 30 acres at the southeast corner of Cotton Lane. So Cotton Lane Frontage Road runs approximately here. That moves northbound. And then Garfield Street runs east-west. And then you've got the 303 Van Buren down here to the south. Similar project, Hancock at Canyon Trails South is on this southwest corner adjacent to the site. We've got Desert Thunder Elementary School just northeast of the property, and then Canyon Trails development is around it. So on this right side is the current zoning of the property. It's Canyon Trails Phase 1 planned area development. Within this little box here, the designated land use for within the Canyon Trails Phase 1 PAD it's a little bit split. So we've got court homes on this half and then a townhome proposal on the east half of the site. So the proposal tonight is to rezone this entire parcel out of the Canyon Trails PAD and rezone it to the MF12 district. And then just for reference, the court home and townhome designation within the Canyon Trails PAD does today, with its current zoning, would allow approximately 210 units with the court home density of about 7 dwelling units per acre, and then the townhome about 12 units per acre, which is similar to what they're proposing tonight. So it is very similar in the densities that were proposed in the original PAD versus the rezone tonight. So as I mentioned, the request is to rezone to the MF12 district with a PAD overlay. That PAD overlay reduces the rear yard setback from 30 feet to 20 feet. On this next slide, I'll show you, this is the conceptual site plan. As we know, that the site plans and elevations and everything included with the rezone are not to be approved with the rezone. They are conceptual and for reference only. That setback, based on the property shape and size, the rear setback would apply to this east side. So with the rear or with the backyard of the units, we typically see a 20-foot backyard on the edge of the projects like this for that rear yard. And then additionally, there's a 100-foot, 100-plus feet open space trail to the east of it. So we find that that PAD overlay was acceptable. Additionally, I've got this little clip in here. One of the newer things we've seen a huge progression of this development type within the city, obviously over the years. This one is proposing some units with built-in garages, so not your typical garage units off to the side. They are included with the unit types on some of them, not all of them, but some of them, which I'll show you in the elevations. And then a conceptual landscape plan. You can see they've got the major open space trail here, and then abutting that trail to the east. There's if you look closely, which I know it's hard to tell here, they do provide connectivity in their conceptual plans throughout the site, but continue to work with staff on the trail elements. So this is one of the elevation styles. It's a 1-bedroom with a garage, so you can see in this center here is the garage unit that is provided for the attached unit. So they would have a garage and then a driveway in front of the garage. And then they've got the consistent theming on all the types of units. This one's a 2-bedroom with a garage, and those are attached, so 2 units with 2 garages. And then this one's a 1-bedroom without a garage. This one is a 2-bedroom without a garage. This one's a 2-bedroom duplex style without garages, so probably the biggest style of unit without the garage. On June 8th of this year, we had a neighborhood meeting that was via Zoom. We did have one couple in attendance. They lived south of Van Buren, and we just were curious about what was going on with the development. It's not directly adjacent to them, so they didn't express any opposition to it, since it wasn't that as close as they thought it might be. But they didn't oppose to it. So with that concludes my presentation. Staff does recommend approval subject to the stipulations in the draft ordinance, and a representative or the applicant is here if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for staff at this time?
Nope.
I guess I have one.
Yes.
Are these, do you know if they're rental or purchased homes, or are they?
I think they are for rent.
Thank you.
Any questions at this time, Vice Chairman Barnes?
City between previous zoning and requested zoning is pretty close to the same. Is that right?
That's correct. The court home anticipated approximately 7 dwelling units per acre, so that was the larger west half of the property. And then the townhome was about 12 units per acre. So 7 to 12 compared to the proposed, I think that it's 11 with what they were proposing, but maximum 12 is pretty consistent. Obviously not the same, but consistent.
Thank you. You said the applicant is here tonight?
Yes.
Does the applicant wish to address the commission?
Good evening. For the record, Andy Jokums, planning consultant with Buse Gilbert McGroder. I probably shouldn't address after that great presentation by Alex. I kind of really am here to answer any questions the commission may have. I did just want to kind of reiterate what Alex had indicated. Is this property is already zoned for medium density residential. We're just changing the product type to the unique cottage type product type that you see, the build to rent. We are at the forefront of the technology, as she showed. We're adding garages, which is a uniqueness that we're trying to bring to this market. About 43% of those units will have the attached garages, and we think that's really where this product needs to go. Again, happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any questions for the applicant?
No.
Commissioner Barnes, any further questions?
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming out. With that, are there any speakers cards? Anyone from the public wish to address the commission on this agenda item? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. And with that, I will request a motion on this Hancock at Canyon Trails North.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the rezone for Hancock at Canyon Trails North, 21-200-00008.
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Clymer, seconded by Commissioner Maloney to approve the rezone for Hancock at Canyon Trails North. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Agenda item number 3, this is the use permit for convenience use. And I will open the public hearing. And Steve, you are going to present this evening. Good to see you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner. Thank you for letting me set up here, get settled. But before you tonight, we have a use permit for Jamba and McAlister's Deli. And where we're located, McDowell Road, Palm Valley Boulevard, then we have Cornerstone Boulevard kind of wrapping around. In this center, we've got Dairy Queen, JCPenney, Lowe's. This overall is the Palm Valley Cornerstone development. And where we're going tonight is this undeveloped pad right here. And a little bit of background, we're in Palm Valley, PAD, Phase 1. Initially, 1989, we had a change in 2001, expanded some of the commercial over here into this area. And again, over this whole development here, we call Palm Valley Cornerstone, anchored by the Lowe's, the JCPenney, Master Site Plan 2004. And again, where we're going is kind of right here was shown in 2004, a couple pads, but we're going to look at a single development right here. And that request, given its commercial zoning, a use permit is required for a drive-through restaurant. So on this about almost 2-acre parcel, we're going to have a approximately 4,500 square foot building. And unique aspect of this application is we're going to have 2 users in that building and 2 separate drive-throughs. And so this is the site plan that was submitted with the use permit. Here's that approximate 4,500 square foot building. So one building, and but we'll have the 2 users here and the 2 drive-throughs. So I'll talk about the McAlister's Deli first. So that drive-through will come in here, and this will be their pickup window. For the McAlister's Deli, that is a remote order only, so we won't have any menu boards or anything along the drive aisle. Customers will call in and then have a time for their order pickup and here at the window. Now for Jamba, that is more of the conventional drive-through where you will have ordering capabilities along the lane. Therefore, that's why it's longer. You have a longer queue to get to the menu board and then wrap around and pick up your order here and then exit. So we do have 2 users in this one building combination, the 2 pickup windows, one on the west, one on the east, and the 2 drive-through lanes that wrap around. Access to the overall pad, we have several points given that this is an existing center. Most of the improvements are in except for this pad. So we'll have access from Cornerstone, from McDowell, and then through the center itself. These are the elevations. Again, one building, but we've got the 2 users within the building. And they did use all of the colors and materials that were approved for Palm Valley Cornerstone. And so for our use permit evaluation criteria, 2 major things. It's not going to be a detriment to anybody, and it's going to be compatible with what's in the surrounding area. And what we see here is we are in an existing commercial center, so we have similar uses within the area. We do have residential, but it is across the street. We have 130 feet of right-of-way, a 40-foot enhanced landscape setback. And we also have several stipulations that we picked up from the initial zoning ordinance for Palm Valley Cornerstone that address trash pickup, lighting, and noise. The parcel size, we find that's adequate. Queuing for both the drive-through lanes will occur on site. We do not see any backups into public streets that would impact our levels of service. Hours of operation are right here. Given the separation from the residential that we do have an arterial street right to the north, we find hours of operation acceptable, no restrictions there. Again, all the roadway improvements are in. It's just the pad improvements that the developer will need to do. At this point, we have no concerns with the use permit. We did have a citizen review meeting on August 24th. We did mail out invitations to surrounding property owners, including those residents in the Palm Valley neighborhood. We did not have any neighbors attend the meeting, and to date, we have not had any opposition voiced on this use permit. So we do find it meets our evaluation criteria. Staff is recommending approval subject to those 9 steps in the staff report. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my presentation. Available for any questions. The applicant is also here if you have questions.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. Any questions for staff?
I do. Quick one. Did you say that this is all takeout? There's no dining in?
Mr. Chairman, Commission members, I should clarify. I did focus on the drive-through component, but it is a dine-in, and there's also an outdoor patio here. So thank you for that question.
Any other questions for staff?
I do have one other question.
Yes, Commissioner.
Regarding the 2 drive-throughs, has this been done before, where it's 2 occupants, 2 drive-throughs, 1 location? Do you have any, understanding what this is going to do and look like? I know there's plenty of room, but it's an interesting concept.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Commission members, it is a new concept. I probably have the applicant address that a little further. Usually we see the singles here.
Right. You said the applicant is here?
Yes,
Does
sir.
the applicant wish to address the commission? Actually, if you could just start with addressing Commissioner Ellison's question, please.
Yeah, I have a question for staff when he's done.
Okay, I'll mark you down.
Sure. Kirk Farrelly, I'm with Capital Growth Buckhalter. We're the developer, owner of the property. I also have Chuck with Kimley Horn and Panos Julios, who is the franchisee. So basically, we're a preferred national developer for Focus Brands, and they're the parent company of McAlister's Deli, Jamba, Schlotzsky's, and several other restaurant concepts. As was questioned, this is the first time that this is being done in the country, as far as having both of those uses together. And the goal is where we can't fit or find parcels for two separate users, we're going to house them under one building, and it'll be open between the two uses and be cohesive. As far as the question about the drive-through lanes where they're crossing, we'll have appropriate signage, and we'll include signage package at a later date once it's refined. And I'm here with any other questions. I have nothing else to add besides the staff report, which was comprehensive. So.
Commissioner Maloney?
No,
You're set. Any other questions for the applicant? Vice Chairman Barnes, you had a question for staff?
Yeah, I did. Steve, what is the city requirement for queuing on drive-throughs?
Mr. Chairman, Commission members, the requirement is a 5-car queuing from the first stopping point. So that would include either a preview board, a menu board, or the window. In this case, McAlister's Deli, their first stop is the window since it's all remote. For Jamba, it would be their order board, which I believe is around here. So we would start the measurement from that first stop.
Oh, thank you. Well, then I'd like to point out that the neighboring city of Avondale requires 27 queuing spots. So the applicant should be very happy they chose Goodyear, which is obviously a superior city.
They must have had a Chick-fil-A go there.
Any other questions for staff or the applicant? Well said. Seeing none. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it coming down. Are there any speakers cards? Anyone from the public wish to address the commission on this agenda item? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and I'll ask for a motion on this item.
Commissioner, I motion that we motion the, the rezoning for 21-300-00003.
I'm gonna help you with the language. You
Thank
move
you.
to approve?
Yes, move to approve.
Okay.
Move
I
to move.
second.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Yes.
actually, the motion is to recommend to council approval,
Okay, there you go.
just so our city attorney friend is happy.
Always taking power from me. It's been moved by Commissioner Ellison, seconded by Commissioner Maloney, to approve the use permit for a convenience use on the Jamba McAlister Deli restaurant with a drive-through. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Agenda item number 4, this is a use permit for a convenience use of Superstar Car Wash. And Steve, I think you're with us the rest of the night.
I am. And I am branching out of food and signs.
I know, but we're going to bring you back home at the end for your
Yes,
sign.
you are.
Yes.
And if you could open the public hearing?
Oh, we got to open the public hearing.
We're on a roll.
All right, Mr. Chairman, Commission members, this one is a use permit, but for Superstar Car Wash, McDowell Road, Bullard, and I-10 is our general location. All this property here is zoned commercial. Where we're looking at tonight is a little sliver right here with frontage on McDowell. And within this center right now, we do have the 2 hotels going that are in. We have a professional office building that is going up now. Quick Trip planned right here. And I should note that with the Quick Trip that the Commission and Council saw several months ago, their improvement plans are in now. So what we're seeing now with the Quick Trip is they will be constructing all the perimeter improvements along McDowell and Bullard they'll finish up the drive aisle that runs all the way up here to McDowell. So they'll complete the rest of the center here in terms of the perimeter improvements along the street and the drive aisles. And so again, we have all C2 commercial zoning for this property back in 2007. We've had a couple site plans, 2010 and 2018, mostly for the hotels. We have an existing sign package for this overall property, and we had a plat that was done this year, 3 lots. Lot 1 here, right at the corner, that's the Quick Trip. Lot 2 is the proposed Superstar Car Wash. Lot 3, no plans at this time. So what we're looking at tonight is the use permit for the car wash on that 1.27 acre lot. The building's about 4,487 square feet. In there, the main part will be the tunnel. There'll also be an office, equipment, and restrooms. 3 pay stations with 28 vacuum spaces. And this is the site plan. McDowell Road at the top. Quick Trip will be over here to the east. And here's where we'll have the car wash proposed here. Customers will kind of enter here. Here are the 3 pay stations. So they can pay, enter in the car wash tunnel at the south end of the building, wash, come out the north, go west or east. They have the option either before the wash or after, come in, use any of these 28 vacuum stations. And I should note that the zoning ordinance has a standard that we don't have service bays, car wash tunnels facing streets. So in the past, how we've addressed that is through enhanced screening of the tunnel element. So the developer in this instance chose to do a higher screen wall, 42 inches, decorative screen wall, along with landscape berms with trees and shrubs along this area here. Again, that'll provide screening from those on McDowell Road that they're not looking straight down into the tunnel. These are the elevations. So it's not a wide building. This is north facing McDowell Road, the southern tunnel entrance, the long sides here. This is the side, the west side, that until we get development on that lot 3, this is the side you'll see as you're traveling east on McDowell. The applicant did add green screens to that and some windows to that elevation. Again, like the previous case, we're looking for detrimental effects and is it compatible with the car wash? Our main concern was noise with the equipment that is used to wash and dry the vehicles, the vacuuming. What the applicant did was put all of the noise generating equipment inside enclosures. The equipment within the tunnel, they're proposing sound blocking along the tunnel exit to capture a lot of the noise leaving the tunnel. They also did a noise assessment to get an estimate of what the noise would be, and I'll look at that a little further in some of the slides. But also in terms of residential, we've got some distance between this car wash and residential, so that is a good separation. And looking at the noise study, so this was the sound map, and this is the tunnel, and this is the exit here. So this is where you'll have the drying equipment, but they are putting in the sound blocking within the tunnel. And this kind of shows you how the sound radiates out. And what we are looking at in terms of impacts to adjacent property owners, we looked at this west property line, figuring that anything that goes here, this master developer will put a use here that they'll be aware of the car wash. It's all under the same ownership at this time. But here's where we were concerned with a different property owners who want to ensure that the noise did not impact them. And along the south as well, given that we have 2 hotels and a proposed office building. And so what we're looking at is basically noise in this zone here, which is kind of the 50 to 55, which in terms of us looking at this diagram here, you know, we're looking at acceptable noise levels. Now, this is just an assessment. This is what their noise consultant, and looking at what was proposed in terms of equipment, where it was located, the noise that they estimated would occur. What we have is stipulations of approval that require that when it's built, before they can get that certificate of occupancy, we'll do a test of the actual noise and ensure that it meets what was estimated. If it exceeds, then the developer will have the opportunity to further try to reduce the noise, to get that noise levels down to meet the stipulations and what was set in the assessment. So that is our protections to ensure that these neighboring uses are not negatively impacted. If they cannot meet the noise levels for some reason, then the stipulations give us the ability to revoke the use permit. But we feel that given what the applicant provided in terms of studying equipment, providing the noise mitigation measures, that it should be compatible. And in terms of the size, we find it's acceptable. All the queuing will occur on site, but we do have a stipulation in there that if it does queue to block either fire lanes or public streets, they'll need to fix that problem immediately and develop a traffic management plan. We're going to stipulate the hours of operation to what they're proposing, no earlier than 7 and no later than 8. All offsite improvements are mostly complete. There's some landscaping, sidewalks that need to be done, and the internal improvements, those are required, but again, those will be done here shortly with the quick trip. And other than the noise issue that we've addressed with stipulations and some of the mitigation measures done by the applicant, that's really our main concern. Citizen review notice, we did send out notice for citizen review and public hearing to surrounding property owners, stakeholders, including the entities for the hotels and the professional office building. To date, no opposition to the project. We had some questions on internal improvements, when those would get done, but at this point, no opposition to the car wash proposal. And so with that, we are recommending approval subject to those 12 stipulations in the staff report. And again, those stipulations are controlling noise and the traffic management plan, important stipulations for our approval. So with that, Mr. Chairman, that concludes my presentation. Available for any questions.
Thank you, Steve. Can you go back to the map, please?
The sound map?
No, the original map. It looks like you've done a good job on the sound. Stipulation number 5 under the traffic, I think, at least the way that's set up, I think is, because it says you can enter off of that side road, right? That road to the south, right? You can enter into the car wash
Yes,
from
sir.
there. I'm sure they'll figure it out, but that seems to be traffic-wise, you know, they're a great business and something to have, but man, when it gets to traffic and the way that's set up, they seem to become a disaster really quickly. And I could see easily, I've seen a similar situation on the East Valley where it's the same thing, a QT and a car wash of that nature, and they're just piled up out in that driveway. So I hope that stipulation number 5 is very clear about making sure we keep traffic off of that road.
Mr. Chairman, Commission members, yes, we hope as well. It's something we're we were concerned about as well, thus the stipulation. I should note that our main concern is definitely Bullard and McDowell, the fire lane circulation. With this is a private drive, so it's not so for us, it's not a public street that we are necessarily concerned about blocking city traffic. But again, we do want to protect our fire lanes and fire access. So therefore, the stipulation that we've applied that we do recognize that, yes, these are popular, and we will be wanting assurance that we will not have any kind of issues in the future. If we do, we'll have that traffic management plan requirement, and they'll need to get that approved through the fire chief and the city engineer.
Any other questions for staff? Yes, Commissioner Nelson.
So when you're driving northbound on Bullard, will you be able to be turning from left from the northbound lanes, crossing the southbound lanes of Bullard?
It looks like this.
Does it already exist?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and it looks like it's,
I only drive it every day, and I have no idea. So.
and then this is the other access point, but again, we don't have a break.
Right.
So it'll be right in.
Thank you.
Commissioner Maloney.
I just have a comment. It seems interesting to me that there is a car wash. There's a car wash on a brand new one on Pebble Creek Parkway. And I think there's another one south of that. And it's like, do that many people get their car washed every day? I mean, seriously. Or is this something that Quick Trip does? You know, what they're trying to do is incorporate, getting gas, a little grocery store, and a car wash. I don't know.
They all seem to be packed.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I'm in the wrong business.
Retirement. Any other questions for staff? Is the applicant here? Yes. You wish to address the commission?
Hi, my name is Jason Doty. I'm with Colley Architects in Phoenix. I'm representing Superstar Car Wash. Steve, thank you for the thorough presentation. I guess, is there any questions that you guys have for me on this project?
I'm just curious about your marketing, just out of curiosity.
Superstar's here with me. I think they'll just tell you, any place they put them, they're pretty busy. A few years ago, it was the first time I tried one of these full-service car washes, and after doing it, I never want to go back to spraying it off and tripping over the hose and shoving quarters in there. I mean, you get I guess about 65% of the people nowadays that go through Superstar actually have the monthly pass. So you don't even have to stick your arm out the window. I mean, you just go right through. So it's quick, fast, easy. The monthly car wash, I think the monthly fee is something like it's like the equivalent of like 2 car washes a month or something. So I don't know. I'm not marketing. I'm the architect. So
Sorry.
But I just know I like them. So
You've got to pass them.
So any questions on the building itself, please?
I don't have a question. Well, it's on the traffic deal. I've seen these things and like I said, it's not a bad thing. It's fine, but I mean, maybe we just get ahead of the game on some traffic engineering, because even the best ones, they seem to get certain times they just are backed up. And being on that private drive, it concerns me for people trying to get to the hotel and people trying to get to what is potentially will be that business complex.
Yeah, I guess I can comment on that too. We do have a traffic study that we did submit with this as far as traffic, and that shows traffic information for, you know, Bullard and McDowell Road. But as far as the internal traffic for our site, we do have stacking lanes. We are actually able to speed the tunnel up. It's electronically controlled, so it does keep track of the traffic through there. If there is an issue with the tunnel or anything, they can actually, there is full-time attendance on site, you know, 2 to 3 operated during normal times. So there is somebody there that they can stop the tunnel and direct the people out. We actually do have a little escape lane just in case somebody's car breaks down or tire goes off the track or something. So there is an escape lane. People can quickly zip through out that direction. So they've done enough of these to where I've never seen people backed up coming out of them like you do like a Dutch Brothers or something like that. So, I mean, this one is a little, you do kind of have to snake a little bit through there if you're coming off of the Bullard access. However, if you're coming off the McDowell Road, which I believe is the busier road, you just kind of curve around and you're able to get through there pretty quickly.
Any other questions for staff for the applicant? Vice Chairman Barnes?
No questions from me.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you coming out.
Thank you very much.
With that, are there any speakers cards? Anyone from the public wish to address the commission on this item? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and ask for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the use permit for the Superstar Car Wash 20-300-00002.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Clymer, seconded by Commissioner Maloney to approve the use permit for the convenience use of the Superstar Car Wash. Is there any discussion? Seeing, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. On to agenda number 5. This is the comprehensive sign package for the Goodyear Professional Plaza, and we have our resident sign expert with us tonight to walk us through this one.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There wouldn't be a meeting without signs, so.
I think you should be able to put your initials on the corner of every sign in Goodyear.
Royalties.
So, Mr. Chairman, Commission members, we are not too far off where we were previously. This is the Superstar Car Wash, so we're just south here at this parcel here. Professional office building is the intended development. And again, the same zoning, 2007, a couple site plans done. I should note again, we have a existing CSP, comprehensive sign package for the property that was approved in 2010. And in 2020, we had the plaza, the professional plaza, the office building approved, 2 stories, a little over 25,000 square feet of office space. And for Goodyear, we do allow comprehensive sign packages, and they're intended to have a coordinated signage with an enhanced design. We can request modifications. If so, then it must go through the Planning Commission and City Council. And so what we had was an existing CSP in 2010 that did not envision an office building. It was primarily focused on the 2 hotels and retail shops, restaurants, things like that. So an office building was something that was not quite covered in the signage. So the developer came in with a supplemental CSP, wall signage for the office building, as well as 1 additional monument sign along Bullard Ave. And the modifications are that additional monument sign and a larger wall sign allocation for the north elevation of the office building. And this is that 2010 CSP. And with this exhibit, just pointing out that we did already have 2 signs, monument signs, proposed along McDowell, and a couple already proposed along Bullard. So wanted to note that for the office parcel, they would be adding a third monument sign, with that monument signage dedicated purely for the tenants of the office building. And this is the office building, and the wall signage, you can see that they'll have some branding on the top, and then the sign envelopes in these areas here for the various tenants. And these could change if you did have a tenant that took a whole floor or half a floor, that could change. The allocation would not, so they would get the same amount of signage, it would just be where it's located. And for the north elevation, the larger allocation of signage is just, they would like the ability to, again, sign the building for their user. And again, this exhibit here shows, again, 4 sides. So you have, several tenants, so we'll have signage along 4 sides of the building. And the monument sign, this location here, and this is the monument sign here. It's about 14.5 feet tall, 14 users. And again, the design here was designed to complement the design of the office building here. It's a little bit different from what was approved in 2010, but the thought being that it complements the office building was a much better design aesthetic. And for a CSP, these are the evaluation criteria we look at, the 3 main. And what we looked at in terms of the evaluation criteria, we found, this is in a commercial corridor adjacent to an interstate, similar land uses within this area, all commercial. There's not much residential nearby. In terms of the letter themselves, they're metal channel letters with halo lighting, so we have an enhanced design that is consistent with the design set in the 2010 CSP. So we're keeping with the aesthetic letters with the backlighting. The monument sign, like I said previously, it was designed to complement the office building, a little bit different, but we thought that was a better aesthetic. And the height and size of that monument sign, it's consistent with the signage, the 2 signs within the 2010 CSP, also with the other commercial signage within this area. They're about the same height, same sign copy area. So given all of that, we find that it met the criteria, the modifications were acceptable. We are recommending approval subject to those 2 stipulations in the staff report. With that, Mr. Chairman, that concludes my presentation. Available for any questions.
Thank you, Steve. Any questions for staff? And then the applicant is not here, right? Or is the applicant here? Oh, applicant is here. Does the applicant wish to address the commission?
We have to reverse this. I'll let you I'm Paul Faith. This is my son, Michael Faith. We're law partners, Faith, Ledger, and Faith. I was born and raised here. There was nothing north of Van Buren when I came. We're proud of what you guys have done with the city and the way the city's developed and things have gone. We are under construction. We are a victim of what's going on with the supply chain right this minute. We hope to have steel in January and start erecting the steel. Our dirt guys are working slow motion because we're not in a hurry till the steel gets there. So, but if I can answer any questions, I'd be happy to address those.
Any questions for the applicant?
Nope.
Glad to see you stayed at home and built the office here. Appreciate it.
Yeah. When I got out of law school, I had the opportunity to go downtown,
Mm-hmm.
and I came back home. And we've been here ever since, and Michael made the decision to come back home. My youngest son's also back home. My daughter-in-law works with us.
Good.
So fantastic. We're proud to be here and proud of what's happening. So.
Need to see a family business. Any questions from you, Commissioner Barnes?
No questions from me.
Perfect. Congratulations to you guys on this project, and
it's been a couple of years in the making.
Thank you guys for coming down. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Nope. All right, and so with that, are there any speakers cards, any comments from the public? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion for the sign package for the Goodyear Professional Plaza.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the comprehensive sign package for the Goodyear Professional Office Plaza, number 21-630-00001.
I second.
Been moved by Commissioner Maloney, seconded by Commissioner Clymer to approve the comprehensive sign package for the Goodyear Professional Plaza. Is there any discussion? Seeing, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you, guys. Staff communication.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you recall, our last meeting, we had a very spirited couple of agenda items. We had the rezoning for the Cotton Commons multifamily. That was the project. It's about 40 acres on Lower Buckeye. It was half MF12 single-family rentals and half walk-up, conventional walk-up apartments. After the commission voted at your last meeting in September, it cascaded to the council, and there was likewise a very spirited debate. Many public speakers at the council meeting as well. Ultimately, the council did approve the project, so the rezoning was approved by council. At your last meeting, you also considered the Lake and Park Bungalows PAD. That was for the 20 acres of single-family rentals south of MC 85. Council considered that in September as well and likewise approved it. The Canyon Trails Town Center Apartments in front of where Planet Fitness is and Pottery Barn and things of that nature in the Canyon Trails Town Center. That's approximately 12.7 acres. If you remember, it was walk-up apartments as well. Council did approve that, likewise in accordance with your recommendations. Also, there was the La Privada preliminary plats. It was about 87 acres that totaled about 285 lots or so, and council approved those as well. So that's our report. Katie, did you have anything?
Just our next meeting on November 3rd. First of all, it's a week earlier than normal because of Thanksgiving holiday, so we're having it the first Wednesday. Also, we're going to be holding that meeting at the Recreation Campus. You might remember in years past, it's the meeting we're going to be looking at the major general plan amendments, and we are required to hold one public hearing off-site. That public hearing will just be to collect comment. And then at the December meeting, those will come back to you for action and we'll be back here. So we'll send you reminders and let you know, but where we had the joint work session the other day, that's where we'll be meeting for the November meeting.
Thank you, Katie. Appreciate it. Anything else for staff or anything for the good of the order? No? Perfect. The next Planning and Zoning Commission meeting will be held November 3rd, 2021 at 6 p.m. at the Goodyear Recreation Campus. There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned.